Berlin, April 1945. The city that once projected power across Europe is now a ruin of stone and smoke. To the east, the Red Army has assembled more men, guns, and tanks than at any point in the European war. An armada aimed at ending Nazism at its source. Within weeks, Adolf Hitler will be dead, the swastika hauled down, and the Third Reich erased. But between the Soviet lines and the Reich Chancellery lies a maze of rivers, heights, and streets defended by exhausted veterans, teenage Volkssturm, and the concrete of a capital prepared for siege. This is the battle for Berlin, the last major offensive in Europe. 16th April to 2nd May 1945. By early 1945, the Red Army has torn open Germany's eastern front. The Vistula-Oder offensive hurls Soviet spearheads to the Oder River, only 70 kilometers from Berlin. Joseph Stalin wants the political prize of Berlin. He unleashes Marshal Georgy Zhukov's first Belarusian front north of the city, and Marshal Ivan Konev's first Ukrainian front to the south. Facing them, Army Group Vistula, commanded by the defensive expert Colonel General Gotthard Heinrici, who fortifies the Seelow Heights, the last strong natural rampart before the capital. At 3 o'clock on the 16th of April, Soviet searchlights blaze on through the mist. Thousands of guns open fire. Zhukov's assault along the Kustrin bridgehead smashes into the Seelow positions. But Heinrici has thinned his front line, pulling troops back just before the bombardment. A classic elastic defense. The result? A hell of mud, smoke, and traffic jams. Zhukov throws in armor and guards infantry. Losses are heavy. South of Berlin, Konev punches through the Neisse, threatening to outflank the capital. By 19th April, German defenses at Seelow fray. The first Belarusian pushes past, paying in blood for every kilometer. Estimates of Soviet casualties here range from approximately 20,000 total to 30,000 plus killed and wounded, depending on the historian. German losses are severe, with thousands captured. April 20th, Hitler's birthday. Soviet guns begin shelling central Berlin. April 21st to 22nd, Soviet armor slices around the city, racing through Brandenburg. April 23rd, German relief fantasies. Calls to SS General Felix Steiner collapse. There will be no rescue. April 24th to 25th. The Red Army completes the encirclement. Berlin is isolated. Inside the city, General Helmuth Weidling is appointed commander of the defense. Civilians huddle in U-Bahn tunnels. The Volkssturm is thrown into the streets. Urban combat in Berlin is brutal and methodical. Soviet units adapt block tactics. Recon by flame and blast. Sappers breaching through walls. Tanks firing point blank into strong points, while infantry clear stairwells with grenades. Bridges over the Spree, canals, and the Landwehr Canal become killing zones. Sniper nests and Panzerfaust teams lurk in every attic. Zhukov's 8th Guards army grinds toward the city center. Konev's troops seize Tempelhof and districts in the south. Every day, the front line moves a few streets. Every night, the city burns a little brighter. Beneath the shattered Reich Chancellery, Hitler issues orders divorced from reality, imagining armies that no longer exist. April the 28th to 29th. News arrives of Mussolini's execution. Hitler marries Eva Braun and drafts his political testament. On April 30th, Hitler and Braun die by suicide in the Führer bunker. Their bodies are carried into the Chancellery garden and burned. Command devolves to Grand Admiral Karl Dönitz in the north. In Berlin, Weidling weighs capitulation. May 1st. Assault groups converge on the Reichstag, a symbol more than a functioning seat of power. Fighting rages through stairwells and chambers. Through smoke and rain, Soviet soldiers raise flags on the roof. The most iconic image, photographed by Yevgeny Kaldai, is taken May 2nd, retouched for publication days later. But symbolism aside, the real decision comes below ground. General Weidling negotiates surrender. At 6 a.m. on May 2nd, organized resistance in Berlin ceases. Columns of German troops lay down arms. Survivors emerge from cellars into a dead city. Berlin's fall is the hinge. Within days, the war in Europe ends. May 7th. At Reims, General Alfred Jodl signs Germany's unconditional surrender at Konev. May 8th. A second ceremony in Berlin-Karlshorst satisfies Soviet demands. Europe celebrates VUE Day on May 8th. The Soviet Union marks May 9th. The battle's cost is staggering. Sources differ, but Soviet operational totals for the Berlin strategic operation list over 80,000 dead or missing. and approximately 280,000 wounded and sick, with thousands of tanks and guns lost. German military and civilian casualties are similarly immense, with hundreds of thousands captured. The city will remain divided for decades. A front line of the Cold War until reunification in 1990. In less than 3 weeks, the Red Army fought from the Oder to the Reichstag. In less than 3 days after Berlin fell, Germany capitulated. The battle for Berlin ended one nightmare and began another chapter.